We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. A historic moment as Rachael Maddow asked Pete Buttigieg about the possibility of being Kamala Harris's running mate. Could it be possible?
New federal guidelines now address anal cancer in HIV-positive individuals, recommending high-resolution endoscopy and annual screenings to detect precancerous conditions.
Elon Musk's recent interview with Jordan Peterson was full of transphobic comments about his transgender daughter, Vivian Jenna Wilson, and hatred for, quote, woke mind virus.
29-year-old Alexander Love faces charges for attacking a 17-year-old transgender girl at Miami airport, stabbing her 18 times.
Grindr has disabled its Explore function in the Paris Olympic Village to protect athletes' privacy and prevent harassment. Damn it! And calm down, my gay boys, but we have some breaking news tonight about the one and only Cher. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, that we have had more than 9 million views because of you. Thank you. It is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ plus news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, student youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
That's right, Nico. Thank you. And it's time to meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's begin by meeting my big brother. His name is Von Biggs. He's got the best name like in life, right? Like Von Biggs. Thank goodness you're a big dude.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know, hey, coming next to the stage for a 2-song set, Von Biggs.
Yes.
Like, it's just, oh, I love that. So you guys know Von. He's an incredible asset and part of our Queer News Tonight family. And he's also part of Broward County HIV Health Services Planning Council's vice chair and disruptive advocate, challenging outdated perceptions and fighting for HIV/AIDS rights. As Holy Cross Health's community outreach coordinator, Von smashes stigma through innovative campaigns and social medias, and he just brings so much love to everything he does, and we love to have him here. Hi, Von. How you doing, puppy?
I'm awesome. I'm so glad to be back with you tonight. Well, and you too, Mark and Nico. So
You like them too.
I do
You know, my
too.
favorite part is that we're matching.
I know.
Like, how did that happen? It's like they made this dress and they had just enough left to make you a cute little top.
There we go. Haters are going to hate.
Haters are going to hate. That's it. Next up, let's welcome Nico Cales. He's a passionate leader and learner. He loves connecting with people and exploring new places and creating meaningful memories. Nico's currently pursuing an MBA in marketing. Weren't you just traveling, Nico? You were just like traveling the world with your Nico-ness.
Yes, I actually just got back from Provincetown like a couple weeks ago.
P-Town. I love it. Had you ever been before?
Never been. It was my first time, so it was also just very magical. I went for circuit week and
I bet you did.
Had a lot of lobster rolls. So it was a great time.
Is lobster rolls like the new way of saying hookups? Okay, no, because the young kids have all these verbiage that I don't know how to use, so I just asked. I love you, Nico. I'm so happy you're back, puppy. Next up, let's welcome my other brother from another mother. He's Mark Pettitt. You've seen him on my show, and he is just an incredible human. Mark is a pioneering traveler and coordinated the very first gay pride parade ever on the continent of Antarctica. He's also a former Mr. Sawmill Leather, sir, bitches. He and his husband, Luke, run linksbyluke.com, the chainmail harness and pride accessory shop, and I have one of their pieces, a couple of their pieces, and I love it. Mark, so you're going to be participating in Sawmill Go-Go Dancer Championships weekend on August 2nd and 3rd. Tell me what's happening and how come I didn't get an invite?
Well, they're not really letting me participate after you've won 3 or 4 times. They don't want you to. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Links by Luke is going to be there with a full-on tent, a full range of accessories, and it is the great place to let us help you try on something very customized. So we hope to see you there. FL Sawmill is the website, and plenty of room. Come on down. Now, of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, the head librarian that took off her glasses, shook out her bun, and took your virginity in your dreams when you were 13. FayWhat? She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the FayWhat show on Mondays at Hotspots Happening Out. Faye, Color and Raw second annual PrEP rally, a gender justice and HIV stigma Kiki ball, will be held at the Scott Galvin Center on August 17th. It sounds fabulous.
Yes,
what's happening?
Baby. So this event is brought to you by the McKenzie Project, Jasmine McKenzie, right? It's going to be $15 admission, early bird, okay? So Color and Raw presents PrEP Rally Ball, August 17th, 2024 at the Scott Galvin Community Center in North Miami, 6 to 11 p.m. $1,000 goes to the house with the most trophies, baby. Some categories: BQ Up and Pumps, Red Drum HIV Stigma Pump the Runway in a Creative Red Pump, Come in a look inspired by your favorite dating app. How about Femme Queen and Drag Realness? Bring it in a latex inspired look. How about Schoolboy? Maybe you were voted most likely to end stigma, baby. Or you come as a pretty boy campaigning for Homecoming King. Thugs are also needed. Maybe your security clears the halls, baby. Or you want to come in as Face, Wacky Tacky Day. Who knows? You don't have to get naked to get sexual gratification. Tease and please the panel and destroy the stereotype of risky hypersexual beings in the TLGBTQ plus community. Make the crowd and panel feel it and tell us why it's important to know your status. Remember, the house with the most trophies walks away with $1,000. Sign up on Facebook at the McKenzie Project, and we will see you all there at the Scott Galvin building. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Right? Yeah. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. First, let's begin by queering up breaking news. Cher. I love me some Cher. Cher announces historic tell-all, part 1 and part deuce. We will forever prove that we are queer news tonight, baby, because Cher today announced that on November 19th, her book, the memoir, part 1, will be on stance. The book will tell the story of Cher's story from childhood to the marriage of Sonny Bono. While not confirmed, the memoir will dish the goods from Cher's post-World War II birth in 1946 to approximately 1975. And you probably are already ahead of me, but this news means that there'll be the memoir part 2, and it'll come out next year and will move past Sonny and Cher to her staggering career, religiously followed by the queer community in film, music, men, and her beautiful relationship with us, the LGBTQ plus community. Pop polls consider Cher the top living LGBTQ plus icon in the world, and you can pre-reserve part 1 today. I can hear gay boys squealing across the world right now. All right. I have already pre-ordered mine. All right. Because, you know, I am a gay boy at heart. Right. You know, and I am so excited about it. I mean, Cher, you know, you don't get more iconic, right, than Cher. You know, it's
what makes you think we're all a fan of Cher?
It's everybody else. I mean,
get that idea.
Cher. All right. I already pre-ordered mine. I ordered it on Audible because I want it read to me in her voice.
Heck yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I mean,
Will it be?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
loving it.
And that's why I wanted, that's the perfect way to hear her story in her own words, in her own voice.
Wow.
I mean, some women might use it for other things. Maybe I will. But, aside from that, the paperback or the book itself is going to sell out for sure because it's freaking Cher.
Thank God you're here. I would not have thought of that use of it. But now that you mention it, she's got like a sexy voice. She uses her inflection really well. A couple hair flips in there. You are good to go.
Yeah.
Mama.
And what I like about it is it's not Netflix. We don't have to wait 2 years to see if there's a part 2. Yeah. We already know.
We already know there's a part 2, right? Because they got me with the Ariana Grande and the Wicked, right? Like, when I go see Wicked, which is one of my favorite musicals, right? It's a one-time thing. There is no 2 parts, right? And now they're getting us with 2 parts there. But Cher deserves 15 parts.
Exactly.
I mean, I would buy them all, Nico, so you're the youngin' at the table. You know who Cher is, right?
Yes.
Because I will kill you right now.
Give us your
live
card.
on TV. And call your boss and tell him.
Because I do know who Cher is. I think my first time ever discovering her was through Believe, which was probably like maybe 3 years old. But yeah, she's awesome, and I think she's so iconic.
3 years
Wow,
old.
Nico got lullabied by Cher music, right? I love it when parents don't think they make us gay. I love that. I wish I would have been serenaded with Cher music. I mean, come on.
Right. So I'll have to ask you, Nico, because, I can look at it because of my age. I remember Cher on Carol Burnett, which hilariously funny. But you know who Carol Burnett is? Okay, never mind.
You really brought it out.
I did. I did.
Part 1,
because that's how old I am.
No, but listen, and even talking about Carol Burnett real quick. I mean, she just got nominated for a bunch of stuff, which at her age is like a record-breaking thing, and she's a queer icon that continues to be an amazing ally and still being recognized for her talent, Cher, who has been doing this for decades and decades, to still come out with something and people still get excited about it.
Yes.
And we're really lucky, I think, to be in this time of history, too, where almost all of Cher's work has been recorded. She is part of like the gay lexicon forever. And so many queer icons before that, we've lost their message or lost their art or a lot of its rumor. Cher is going to live forever. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a part 3 for her 100+ years of life. She's going to be around.
Right? Like, again, the extended or something. I get them. I'm going to get them all. I'm just saying. I was too small, like when the sex book came out from Madonna, and I really wanted that book. You have it. I'm going to go to your house and steal it. Did you see him squirrel?
Oh my God.
He's got it. I'm going to go steal that
I think
book.
I was like 16, 17 when that came out. And we
you had enough money to pay $250 for a book?
we had to get an 18-year-old to go buy it and put together our money to do it.
Oh, wow.
That's how bad we wanted to be.
Wow, that's how things were back in the day, Nico. You'll never have to do that. You can just Amazon it and get it right to your door, and that's it. Next, let's queer up politics. Historical moment as Rachael Maddow asked Pete Buttigieg a vice president question. MSNBC host Rachael Maddow asked Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg if he would consider being vice president. Kamala Harris's running mate this fall, potentially becoming the first out LGBTQ plus vice president in U.S. history. Maddow asked, quote, when you endorse Vice President Harris, you said you'd do all you can to help her win. Would you serve as her vice president if she asked you to? End quote. Buttigieg, while not directly answering, responded, quote, she's going to make that decision. I will do everything in my power to make sure that she is the next president because it's so important, end quote. Maddow pressed further about the vice presidency. Watch this.
If she asked, are you saying you wouldn't say no?
Sure. We're just not in that mode right now. We're on the second day since the president made his decision, and I trust her. By the way, few people in the country know more about the vice presidency and about the weight of that decision than she does. Very much trust her to make a choice that makes sense to her, that is right for the party, and that's right for the country.
Since President Joe Biden announced he would not seek re-election and endorsed Kamala Harris, speculation has surged about who Harris might choose as a running mate. Media and social media discussions have prominently featured Pete Buttigieg as a potential candidate for the vice presidential slot. This interaction is historic because this is a lesbian newscaster asking the gay Secretary of Transportation about being vice president, maybe. social media has been ablaze over this incredible moment for the LGBTQ plus community. You know, we talked about this on Monday, right? You know, Biden stepped down on Sunday, right? He said he would not run for his reelection. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say he stepped down. And then, you know, Monday, I took out my chucks and my pearls and I said, all right, it's time to start fighting. It's time to start, you know, screaming. And that is the first question that you think of, right? Who is Kamala Harris going to choose to be her presidential running mate, you know, her VP? You know, dream ticket would be Pete Buttigieg in my head, right? Dream ticket. But that's a dream ticket, right? It's not putting all the things on the table and seeing how we might need Pete Buttigieg in the future. Right? I don't think, for me personally, right, it would be a dream ticket, but it would not be a realistic ticket to follow right now. Okay? You know,
I think I have to just disagree with you
Please.
a little bit there. And the reason why is that when you see MAGA folks, like 100% of MAGA folks vote. Like every single one of them is going to go out there. So when people are concerned that this kind of polarizes the ticket too much, I think any additional people who do come out to vote are going to be voting for the side of the fence that thinks everybody is equal. So I don't think that it's too polarizing. And if it is polarizing, that is only going to help our side. All of them are already coming out to vote. So we need to do whatever it takes to get more liberal people out to vote.
I mean, and you make such important you know, points there, because it's true. You know, it's like, are we ready to have a black president and a gay man as vice president? You know, I'd like to think that we are, right? And Mark feels that we are, right?
Right.
I don't know if the rest of the world is ready for that. Vaughn, where are you on this?
What does it matter if he's gay or not?
It doesn't.
Thank you.
It doesn't.
Right.
It's all about experience.
Exactly.
It's all about, you know, can he
I mean,
do
look
the
what he's
job?
already
And
doing.
He definitely can.
Right.
You know, and going back to Mark's point, like, so much support has already come out for Kamala, right? So much support. The black women are out in numbers. The brown women are out in numbers. The black men are out in numbers saying that they're supporting, right? From Hillary to every movie star you can think of has already said, I'm behind her. Hashtag I'm with her.
Right.
You know, maybe they are. Maybe it would be fine to add Pete Buttigieg to the ticket and win it all the way and take over the world. Nico, how does this wash over you, baby?
I love that, you know, having maybe just a gay vice president would, you know, turn the tables a little bit. And, you know, it's like a brat summer, you know, Kamala's brat.
Yeah.
And so everyone,
Yeah.
everyone's rooting for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, why not? So I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Announce
for the
it.
polls.
Announce it. Tell us, Kamala, we need to know. All right.
waiting.
Regardless of what it is, we're on board and we are fighting and we are ready. I mean, you know, and like just seeing how excited Nico is. Like they were talking to people on the street in New York, right? I'm on MSNBC or one of those places. You know, I would never watch Fox. Anyway, and you know, you could see how happy and excited these young kids were, you know,
Right.
about Kamala being our possible future president. Like they were excited. They were invigorated. They were filled with energy.
It's exactly what we need.
That's what we need.
Well,
Keep it up, Nico.
And they say, you know, like our Gen Z population specifically, they're against the bullying. They're not here for it. They don't want to tolerate it. They will stand up and fight against the bullies.
Yep.
And I think they're starting to see that, you know, they see something that a lot of people don't see.
And you do see that in both of their interviews and in their stage presence with Pete and Kamala. They are not afraid to be like, that's a bully and call you out on it.
Yep.
We were at an event this weekend. It was like a show where the Links by Luke had a little booth, and this kid came around. He couldn't have been, I think, about 9 years old. And he asked Luke, he said, you know, who is the other guy there? And Luke says, well, that was my husband. And he goes, what? How does that work? And had to explain to this 9-year-old kid that it wasn't weird. And I think if you do get a Pete Buttigieg in that big of a light, that parents just can't kind of hide their kids from the existence of gay people, because that's what leads to being able to demonize us so easily down the road.
Yes, and for that queer kid that maybe thinks that, like, you know, they're bullied in school or they're not going to be able to do what they want to do in their life. Hello, the vice president is gay. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. That part.
That.
You go, boy, girl,
You go,
they,
boy.
them.
Yeah, make it happen.
Yes.
All right. Next, let's queer up health. New U.S. federal guidelines focus on anal cancer prevention for people with HIV. A newly released set of federal guidelines created significant LGBTQ plus attention because it aims to combat anal cancer among individuals with HIV, marking the first U.S. recommendations on this crucial topic. Developed by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services panel on the prevention and treatment of opportunistic infections in adults and adolescents with HIV, these guidelines emphasize a screening program utilizing high-resolution anoscopy, HRA, to detect and treat precancerous conditions. The guidelines advocate for annual assessments of anal abnormalities in all HIV-positive adults, including digital and rectal examinations. For those under 35 with symptoms or abnormalities, standard anoscopy is recommended. Individuals 35 and older who are men who have sex with men or transgender women, and those over 45 with HIV should receive lab-based screening followed by HRA if needed. The guidelines draw from the evidence, including the Anal Cancer HSIL Outcomes Research Study, which demonstrated that HRA significantly aids in preventing anal cancer. HRA offers a more precise examination compared to the standard anoscopy. Though its available remains limited in areas where HRA is unavailable, continued use of DARE and standard anoscopy is advised for symptom assessment. The details in this report are very technical and vitally important for the LGBTQ plus community. For further details, visit clinicalinfo.hiv.gov. Listen, we've all been battling with HIV virus for many years, and thanks to advancements in treatment, people are now living much longer with HIV. It's crucial to stay in care and follow the recommendations, especially as we learn more about aging as long-term survivors of HIV. Prioritizing your health care is essential to continue achieving amazing things in your life. Sadly, many of us have lost loved ones who didn't have the same opportunities for long life that we have today.
Completely, Vaughn. I mean, and if a new federal guideline is lowering the age, then we should follow suit and make sure that people are getting tested and making sure that they know their status. They lowered the age of colonoscopies for people who have a history of cancer in their family. Right. It used to be like over 50 and now it's like under 40. They've also lowered the age of mammograms, with a history of cancer in your family. So we're just trying to take care of you folks. That's all we're trying to do, knowing your status on anything, even from COVID to anal cancer, just right there extends your life, I mean, get the meds needed, get the care needed, know your status, share it with the people that you sleep with.
And how many times have we seen things in our community, if it's caught early enough, it's taken care of, versus how many times have we heard they waited too long?
Well, and this to me is also part of the wake-up call of this story. How long has HIV/AIDS been around? How long has this been a propensity within people who are HIV positive and in any kind of stage in the disease? And it's 2023, and there is now a study. And there is now guidelines. So just don't think for a moment that I think as an LGBTQ plus person that your healthcare is at all in the priority of kind of the establishment. So pay attention to research like this. And I just also want to say, I really love that this is it's an actual study, that has been peer reviewed and been published and has recommendations and is recognized by the federal government. So when it comes to your health or to issues out there, don't say that you've researched because you went to Google. This is what research really looks like. And I wish it was here so much sooner, but I'm glad it's here now.
Yeah. Nico?
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking that it's a lot of pressure off of our generation for the HIV. I know there was big slaughtering back in the 80s and the 90s, but I'm glad things are now turning over and we're seeing studies and seeing numbers.
Listen, we want to eradicate HIV/AIDS by, it was 2030, 2040, I can't remember.
Well, we want new infections. So,
but things like this, informing the public is how we get closer to attaining that goal. Mark, what's next?
Well, next, let's queer up trans rights. Billionaire Elon Musk says, quote, woke ideology killed his child. In a recent interview with Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk made controversial and transphobic remarks about his transgender daughter, Vivian Jenna Wilson. Musk claimed that Vivian, who legally changed her name and gender in 2022, was killed by what he referred to as the woke mind virus, as he expressed a desire to, quote, destroy this ideology. Check.
It wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. Anyway, and so I lost my son essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be.
Musk added, quote, "This was really before I had any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, so there was a lot of confusion, and I was told Vivian might commit suicide," end quote. Vivian, daughter of Canadian author Justine Wilson and Musk, reportedly distanced herself from her father due to his hostile views on transgender issues. Musk's comment have sparked backlash many times in the past, with critics condemning his transphobia and misinformation. On social media platform X, Musk continued to use Vivian's dead name, claiming she was, quote, gay and slightly autistic, end quote, which has been widely criticized by users. But sadly, Musk does not know where to stop. Look, I would like to spend as little time as possible in giving Musk any kind of attention or notoriety for his opinions. In this story, what really comes across to me is that his daughter Vivian is an absolute hero. Mm-hmm. Complex trauma and chronic shame is something that really all LGBTQ plus people have to deal with at some point. Even if you were in a really accepting family and your parents were in PFLAG, you were still surrounded by a community who's been telling you that you were less than before you even knew how to filter those thoughts out as not being good for you. Mm. And this kind of complex trauma and chronic shame lives on in every one of us, and it finds a way to be expressed. So I think she's really a hero for creating the distance that she has while being vocal about it. But let's really use what she's bringing to light to also take a look at ourselves as people in the audience. How have we accepted that shame? How do we deal with that trauma? Where does that show up in our personalities? Because it's either something that holds you back or that can propel you forward. But you have to be aware that it's there.
Yeah, that's so true. And thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
Like Vivian is a freaking hero. Mm-hmm. You're right. I mean, not only is she, fighting the world like many of us do in LGBTQ plus, but she's fighting her father, right? And her father is not just, Señor Don Luis Carmona, like my dad. It's freaking Elon Musk, the owner of X, the owner of those ugly ass Teslas, I mean, that's his father. He's fighting, right. She's fighting that, I've heard from parents that, let's just say, can't understand their shortcomings or don't know how to deal with their feelings. I've heard from them, oh, my child is dead, right? When they hear that a child has come out as LGBTQ plus, right? Then where are the tears, Elon? If your daughter was killed, any other parent would be there crying, saying woke ideology stole my child, right? You don't seem to be even bothered by it at all. Your daughter hates you. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is be less of an asshole, and then she would want you as her dad. Those relationships are unbreakable. Unfortunately, we only have one mother and one dad. So you try to fix those relationships as much you can, even if the person is just completely disgusting like you are, Elon.
I have to look at it because being a parent of a gay child, and I look at the end of the day, it's your child.
Yep.
It doesn't matter female, male, as far as it's a child. And in the interviews I have read that Vivian has had, talking about the toxic environment that both her and her mother had endured. Mm-hmm. So I look at that and go, there's more to the story, but at the end of the day, it's your child, and you're mourning the death of what you're calling your son, but your child is still in front of you.
Yeah.
So either embrace, you've got to embrace that.
And how many children, we're told by the Trevor Project every single year about how many kids try to take their own lives, yep. right? Because they're not understood in their transition or in their coming out process, right? Your daughter's here. like Vaughn said. You know, maybe she thought about hurting herself, but guess what? 9 out of 10 of us have, because it comes with being LGBTQ plus.
Yep.
Welcome, right? That's kind of what it's part of the process, unfortunately. It's just it's horrific what she has had, her and her mom had to go to probably.
And what eats me alive is the fact that like Musk, he's the one that like promotes creativity and innovation and things that want to better people's lives day to day, but then he's, you know, having just a transgendered daughter. It sucks and it hurts a lot to realize that he said he lost a son, but yeah, he gained a daughter. So, you know, it's kind of like debilitating a little bit, just because it's someone that like stands for, you know, moving like the world, but.
Well, Elon is the one that wanted to do all the space stuff also, right? You know, so I mean, he's all about evolution, but not human evolution. Like,
well,
that's
but
crazy,
look at
you know?
all this technology that he is involved in, and as a very intelligent person, and his comment is, "I didn't understand."
Yeah,
I struggle with that.
Yeah. You pay people to understand for you.
Right.
I think all parents out there, do not mourn any kind of previous version, because that version was not that person's true identity, or them being themselves, or really celebrating themselves. So celebrate the revelation of the real person. Nothing is dead.
Yes, and it means that you did nothing wrong as a parent.
Yeah.
You did nothing wrong. It has nothing to do with your shortcomings or anything. That beautiful individual of light just needed to shine a different way. That's it. That's it.
Keep shining.
Keep shining, baby.
Yep.
Nico, what's next?
Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Trans teen in critical condition after stabbing at Florida airport. A 29-year-old man, Alexander Love, is facing serious charges after a brutal attack on a 17-year-old transgender girl at Miami International Airport. Love was arrested on and is being held without bail, charged with attempted first-degree murder with deadly weapon and attempted premeditated first-degree murder. The shocking incident unfolded when Love allegedly stabbed the black trans teen 18 times with a long butcher knife. Authorities reported that Love also attempted to throw the victim off a 4th-floor balcony. The girl, whose name was not been released, was rushed to a local hospital where she underwent emergency surgery. Video footage captured the chaos at the scene, showing passengers fleeing as Love was detained at gunpoint. You can also see an unidentified bystander was seen comforting the victim. According to the arrest advocate, Love claimed he met the victim at the airport and alleged he was drugged and assaulted before the attack. CCTV footage reviewed by investigators showed Love lying in wait before he struck. The footage revealed him approaching the victim, who was sitting on the floor eating, and then stabbing her multiple times before attempting to throw her over the balcony. The girl managed to escape and sought safety with police on the 3rd floor. Love was quickly identified and apprehended by police. At a court appearance, Judge Mindy S. Glazer denied Love bail. So this is an insane story. The fact that this is in our streets in Miami Airport, and just transphobia is really not looking good. And the fact that I'm happy that Love is now in bail or in jail, and so and he got denied bail. So yeah, this is scary. This is very a musky situation.
I have such a hard time with these stories. Like, I'm the person that if I'm watching a horror movie and somebody's, you know, that's me, and it's exactly the reaction that I get, and I just keep thinking, was the floor of that airport empty? How do you get to stab somebody 18 times without somebody else kind of jumping in? But I mean, you have all just kinds of questions of how could this be, but ultimately those questions are really with this Love character. But really glad to see that he's not allowed to kind of get away or skip town or anything.
Let's see how we unpack this story. You know, we are an LGBTQ plus news outlet. right? LGBTQ plus people, most other news outlets don't really show you stories that have to do with our community, right? It's not at the top of their importance, okay? Here, this is all we give you is LGBTQ plus stories that are true and really affecting our community, right? This happened, like Nico said, right in our backyard. But I need to call out media first and foremost, right? When this news story came out, they misgendered her. And they continued to misgender her, right? We must do better. They kept on saying she identified as a woman. Then bitches, she's a woman. That's it, okay? There shouldn't have been another question. You saying, him who identifies as a woman is not any kind of respect to her or to our community. Let that be said, okay? Next, another Black trans woman hurt on our watch, right? And like Mark said, 18 stab wounds. That's not even like a pass by. That's not, oh, I'm drunk. Okay. The 18 stab wounds. The girl was sitting on the floor eating food. How many times have any of us done that when we're waiting for a layover or something like that? Sitting there eating her freaking food, chilling, and then this guy comes over and stabs her 18 times. We must do better. All right. And a guy with a name like Love. How in the living F is your name Love when you represent nothing, anything to do with love? He says that he was drugged beforehand. I want to see the drug test because I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And again, that's still not an excuse to freaking almost kill a Black trans woman at Miami International Airport. How did this big knife get in? Like, I've just got so many questions that I would love answered.
Yeah, the knife issues,
And it was a big knife. It wasn't even like a little pocket
butcher
knife.
I think she must have been in pre-security, like before you go and check in, like where the restaurants and stuff are. That's my only guess for how that could be allowed, that weapon.
Yeah. Oh. Well, we'll stay on top of the story and hopefully bring further news. But as of now, the gentleman is not out in bail. He is arrested in Miami, where I hope he stays for a very long time.
Next, let's queer up sports. Grindr disables, quote, explore, end quote, feature in the Olympic Village to protect athletes' privacy. Anyone hoping to use the LGBTQ plus dating app Grindr in the Paris Olympic Village will find themselves out of luck. Reports indicate that the app has disabled its explore function in the village, which will host nearly 15,000 athletes during the games. Starting Friday, July 26, social media posts reveal that users attempting to explore the Olympic Village will find no profiles at all, which is unusual given the Grindr's 13 million monthly users worldwide. This limitation aims to prevent athletes from being outed against their will and to protect them from potential harassment. A similar approach was taken during the 2008 Beijing Olympics when Grindr restricted access within the Olympic Village to prevent users from viewing athletes' profiles. This measure aimed not only to prevent harassment, but also to protect athletes from being outed, particularly those in countries where homosexuality is illegal or stigmatized. During the 2016 Rio Olympics, a Daily Beast reporter faced accusations of outing several athletes through the app in the Olympic Village. The article was later removed due to a substantial backlash. The Verge reports that users logging onto Grindr within the Paris Olympic Village will see the message, quote, your privacy is important to us, and our Explore feature has been disabled in the Olympic Village so that people outside your immediate area can't browse here, end quote. Well,
unpack that there, Vaughn.
Well, the interesting thing is, one, yes, athletes. It's like, we had a story earlier in the week about I can't think of the gentleman's name, but he was bouncing on the cardboard boxes that they're making the makeshift beds out of in the village.
Was it a Daily? The one who knits?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yes?
Yes.
Was it Steve?
Yes.
Right? It was, is it Tom Daly? What's his first name?
Yeah,
Tom Daly. Yay, look at me remembering.
There we go. Thank you. So
2 sports points for you.
But with Grindr, you look at it and you can screenshot. So anybody that could really go in and see those apps and profiles, and if there's some revealing pictures, which usually there are, or if they're sending pictures to one another, those can be screenshot and used against them. And I could see the protection for that. And obviously our athletes aren't going there to hook up with Grindr. I would
Yeah,
hope
it's not Grindr at the RNC.
Right.
I love that news story. We did a news story the other day about how Grindr almost crashed at the RNC. Okay, literally with how much use was going on there. I don't believe in outing anyone. I don't think it's right unless they're a Republican who hates us. Then I'm not so mad about it. I mean, it's just and again, that's not a popular opinion to have. I get it, but it's crazy how the hypocrites that are running supposedly to save children and save families and all of that, right? But they're one of us and they're so closeted that they can't even breathe. Now Beijing's a different story. These are athletes that are coming from some countries where it's not even legal to be gay, where they can be persecuted, or maybe they're not out to their families and all that. So if you are trying to protect the athletes, then I'm all for it, and I get it.
Yep, agreed.
I get it. So so you can't use your Grindr then when you go to the Olympics. Neither can you, Nico. Just saying. As a nonprofit LGBTQ plus media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ plus community's most popular pizza in South Florida. Watch this.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
For me, We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment that we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up politics. Is Governor Jared Polis the old balding gay Jew VP for Kamala? Well, after President Joe Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president, speculation arose about her potential running mate. CNN anchor Dana Bash asked Governor Colorado Jared Polis if he would consider the role. Polis responded humorously, quote, "Look, if they do the polling and it turns out that they need a 49-year-old balding gay from Boulder, Colorado, then they got my number," end quote. Polis is the first openly gay man to be elected governor in the United States.
She asked you to be her running mate. Would you accept?
Well, Dana, we're not even there, Dana. I appreciate the question. I love the job I'm doing. I love Colorado. It's great. Obviously, if somebody asks, I take a serious look at it, but my phone hasn't rung yet. Look, if they do the polling and it turns out that they need a 49-year-old balding gay Jew from Boulder, Colorado, they got my number.
That was very funny.
I love that he totally throws her off in that clip.
She didn't expect that, right?
All right for gay people deliver. That was such a great punchline. The humility and love just within that is phenomenal.
Yeah. And hey, I love gay, balding 49-year-old men, so I'm all about it. Join the ticket, Polis.
See you in 2 years.
I'm good.
I just needed an accent.
You just
Right. I really did.
I just need something.
I need something a little extra.
Yeah. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. Drag Race star Morphine Love Dion meets fatal car crash. Morphine Love Dion from RuPaul's Drag Race season 16 was injured in a car crash that left one person dead. The accident occurred this week on LA's 10 freeway, injuring 5 others. Dion was attending DragCon LA. A statement on her Instagram confirmed she was in an Uber and suffered multiple injuries, requesting privacy for her recovery. Canada's Drag Race star Chaos was also involved in the car crash, as confirmed by Tsunami Muse. The drag community is rallying in support during this difficult time. So we all know that Morphine Love Dion, okay,
National treasure,
okay.
Morphine Love Dion.
Dion, right, is from Miami, and I called her mama. I called her mom, Athena Dion, when I read this story to find out if she was okay. She shook up, of course, I've been in an accident. You boys have been in accidents, you're shaky afterwards, right? And,
Adrenaline.
and I can't even imagine being in an accident where someone has lost their life,
Oh.
So please give Morphine her privacy to heal. And, thank goodness that we're not losing our wonderful beauty, and that she's okay. Uber drivers can drive crazy, and things can happen. And God, the 10 highway is worse than a 101 over there. Like, it's all bad. It's bad. So our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family. And, I'm so glad that it wasn't worse. And, girls, be careful out there.
Yeah. Right? Thoughts, prayers, and more. Whatever you need, let us know. And we'll be by your side, along with your mother, Trixie Mattel.
Athena Dion!
But she has also been adopted by Trixie Mattel.
Yeah. But Trixie, whatever. Trixie's got enough money. All right. Athena Dion. I will say it again. Thank you. Nico, you a Drag Race fan?
Yes. And I hope Morphine gets better. I mean, after such a crazy accident. So, yeah.
Vaughn?
Love her. You know what I have thought I see fascinating from her is her face has changed as far as her makeup skills since Drag Race. It's like even in the picture we saw, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. There's a difference, There's that maturity.
Well, there's also she used to be just a Brazilian butt lift girl. Right. And that was all, that was her brand. And now she's so much more than that, and has showed us in a big way, right? We're thinking about you, girl.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Our exhibition by Hotspots Art through July 27th. The Hotspots Happening Out Art Gallery with Dennis Dean is showcasing a vibrant art exhibition running through July 27th. The event, hosted by Hotspots Events and featuring an open bar, is catered by Union Kitchen and Bar. The exhibition highlights works from renowned artists including Brian Smoot, Adrian Diaz, Darlene Salazar, Franco Sotillo, Heather Neiman, Sania Uramenko, Roger Schrinkler, and Jill Sneedman. Additionally, Joel Baxter's table art is on display. For more details, visit hotspotsmagazine.com. Now that is so exciting. An open bar with Union Kitchen. Both my
That's what you got out of it, right?
Yeah.
I love the youngins. You can just tell, right? They've got a limited budget. So they're like, listen, I got to go somewhere. They're doing open bar, and Union Kitchen is delicious. You're absolutely right.
And way to get all those names of the artists in there. I was like, oh, check. He's got it.
And with that, I want to give a big shout out going out to Mr. Dennis Dean, who was newly appointed ED of Arts United, and so deserving of the role, and just kudos to Arts United for also appointing him there. So before that, he's been our guy at the Hotspots Happening Out Gallery, and he's just such an exceptional person. When he curates these art shows, you could see himself, right, in the artist that he chooses, right? And then what I love the most, then he gets out of the way. Like, he gives these artists the spotlight. He allows them to shine. Right. These are incredible local artists. And so Saturday is their kickoff, and then you'll be able to see the art all month long there at the Hotspots Happening Out Gallery in Wilton Manors, baby. So go for the launch, eat some good free food, like Nico, made sure to mention, some free drinks as well, and go take part of some amazing art that we have down here. Theater and live art and live entertainment all have been given a huge blow by by DeSantis. So we all need to do our part and show them that we support them, we love them, and we just can't be us without them.
No, I think it's great in Wilton Manors that specifically we've seen a growth, right, in art. And that's amazing considering what was announced recently. Yep. And I think, as an artist myself, I'm like, buy art. Please go buy art because you're supporting an artist at the end of the day. So, Amen. All right. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's social justice. Controversial Idaho library sign stirs debate on Reddit. An Idaho library sign went viral for requiring patrons under 30 to show photo ID to access an adults-only section. This stems from House Bill 710, passed by Idaho's Republican-led government, forcing libraries to reclassify challenged books, including LGBTQ plus themed children's books, as adults only. The law is part of a broader trend of censorship in red states and could expand nationwide if former President Trump is reelected and enacts Project 2025. Libraries face a $250 fine for violations with no cap on damages if sued. All I can say is, you have the freedom of expression and writing and voice, and librarians, all they want to do is hold and classify these documents for people to be able to peruse. And why do we need them to start policing age?
This is exactly the start of also that kind of complex trauma that we're talking about, of maybe even before you realize that you're transgender or gay, seeing these kind of messages on the public hall of knowledge, I think just does untold damage to young LGBTQ kids. This library and the system that was behind this should be absolutely ashamed of itself, because you're putting kids' lives in danger by doing this.
No, I mean, it's so funny you said that, because I remember being a kid and going to the library and seeing, I can't remember what it was under. It was under such a weird thing. It wasn't in the Dewey Decimal System. Let's just say that, right? But you had to look, for other interests or something. It was under something like that. But to be able to sit down and get some kind of clarity as to what I was feeling towards another woman came from a book in a library. Right. I didn't have Pornhub. I didn't have Pornhub or anything else like people have now. And that's sad that a kid can't get, these books, but they can go get misinformation from other children, from
the internet,
majorly the internet, basically, and that's what you're doing. You're just systemically messing up these kids for future. Leave Idaho. Just leave Idaho. All right. Who cares about those potatoes? And Nico, what do you think?
I also love the fact that there was a debate on the Reddit. I'm always on Reddit, trying to find debates, so it's a good pastime for me.
Do you get in the debate?
No, I'm no.
I'm going to start watching.
He's not going to get in a text-only debate.
I just figured it out. Mark, what's next?
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up world news. Cologne's Pride Parade sets record by drawing over 1.2 million. This week, Cologne's annual Pride Parade, aka Christopher Street Day, made history with over 1.2 million attendees. Featuring 60,000 participants and 90 vibrant floats, the event celebrated diversity and unity under the theme, For Human Rights, Many, Together, Strong. The festivities, named after New York's Stonewall Inn, kicked off with stirring speeches from German politicians on the Deutzer Bridge. The Pride featured high-profile participants, including Tom and Bill Kaulitz of the music group Tokyo Hotel. I used to live in Germany from when I was between, 3 and 6 years old. It's a really popular stop for army brats because there's several bases there. I've never been back as an adult, but all of the parties and everything in Germany, I will tell you, this country is calling to my international gay travel vibe, and this may just be a confirmation. So, Luke, if you are watching this at home, we are looking at flights to Germany.
You know, like, I think that the German language is so rough.
Oh, it's so
You know,
sexy.
German people are so sexy.
No comment.
But are you German?
Yeah.
Oh, are you? That's why I like you.
Say it in German.
I don't know German, though. I don't know German.
You don't know German?
No.
So wait, Steve, am I going to Germany? Okay, so I'm going to Germany in September. Don't ask me where the hell I'm going, right? Because I have no idea. But we're going to Gay Oktoberfest. So I just want to see hot Germans in Lederhosen or whatever the hell.
Lederhosen. I only know bad words like
Can you say a bad word so I can learn it?
Scheitskopf.
Scheitskopf.
It means SH head.
Did it sound good?
Yes, very aggressive.
But it makes me It makes
think
me
it'll work.
jealous. I want Wilton Manors to have 1.2 million people at their Pride. Wow. Could you imagine?
Wow, we could do it. Next one. Let's vote. We had 40,000 at this one. We just got a little bit more work. We'll get there.
Okay.
Free tickets for Germans. That'll fill.
Yes.
I love it.
And I also love that Cologne, since it's kind of a small city. I've been like once a couple years ago, and I love the fact that there's just so many people that just is condensed in there. As you would think it would be like Berlin or Dusseldorf, or I think it's like a 2-hour train ride to Amsterdam. But the fact that it's like
and is it Cologne or is it Cologne?
I thought it was Cologne.
Cologne, I think.
That was like colonic.
Well, depends on who you're talking to.
It depends on who we're talking to.
On that note, that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat. That echo?
That was
awesome. I don't know, but it was perfectly on key.
It really was. And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Vaughn Biggs, Nico Cales, and Mark Pettitt. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.